Live from Signature Lanes in Elkhart, Indiana, Extra Frame is proud to present live coverage of the Stepladder final of the PBA50 National Championship. And good evening and welcome to Elkhart, Indiana. Mike Jakubowski alongside Tom Carter. And Tom, we've come to the end of the long road.
This
as
is the last one.
PBA50 Tour ends tonight here in Elkhart. And what a great way. We compete for a major tonight. And we begin with a Hall of Fame matchup.
Hall of Fame matchup, $10,000 on the line. Two great players starting it out with Brian Voss and Parker Bohn. It's going to be a tough one tonight.
And then going up to the top, the leader is Sam Maccarone, who has earned one PBA50, one PBA60, and he'll bowl for another title here tonight.
He has been red hot all day long. He's been bowling great the whole week, actually. It's going to be interesting. He's ungodly fired up. Let's put it that way.
Ron Mohr and Amleto Monacelli also on tonight's Stepladder, and it's going to be great action.
Ron Mohr bowled great in the position round to seal the deal, to make sure he made the show. Amleto been hotter than all get out. And Brian Voss coming off of a win a couple weeks ago. So we got some hungry players out there. Like I said, $10,000 at the top.
It's a major, 10 grand on top, 5 champions on the PBA 50 Tour, and we begin. Parker Bohn III begins with a strike in our opening Hall of Fame matchup. Parker Bohn III against Hall of Famer Brian Voss. Voss himself picked up his first senior win earlier this year.
Voss bowled incredible today. He just kind of made it look easy. It was kind of like the Voss of old. He was striking a lot.
And the power and the passion of Voss.
It's like he's got that fire to win again. You know, he's been out here for a while, and sometimes it just kind of looks like he goes through the motions because he's that good. But here lately, somebody's lit a fire because he wants to win. And this pair that they're bowling on, 19 and 20, in my opinion, after bowling the tournament and making the cut in the match play this morning, that's not the easiest pair in the world. One lane hooks significantly more than the other, and so it's going to be interesting because normally after re-oil today we were playing way right, and the guys are already after practice into third arrow. So either they broke them down a lot during practice or the lane just naturally hooks here.
41 feet. It's the PBA50 National Championship pattern. And interesting to note that in the position round, and we just saw here live in Extra Frame, Brian Voss taking on Sam Maccarone, and the result of that match pushes Brian from second down into this opening match.
The scores in the position round, there was literally 9 guys. I mean, it was like shuffling cards. You didn't know where they were going to end up. Lenny Bohr shot a great game. He was in third, shot 222, thinking, okay, I should be able to hold on, and he's not even on the show tonight.
Messenger in front of the 10-pin.
The track area in this facility really comes into play. A friend of mine lives here, and he told me that the house shot track area is basically 13 to 8. And with this pattern, they normally started out kind of tight in practice, but boom, I mean, after 5 shots, you were in. His traditional back up to the spare.
And a good cover. And just prior to our competition, tournament director John Weber with the proprietor here, Roger Brown, and a very generous donation from the players. Tom has over $2,600 raised to benefit the Riley Hospital for Children, coming from the players themselves.
Yeah, the players, we all donated. They had a bucket in the paddock, and everybody was going by signing the sheet and throwing in some money. And then what was amazing, whatever we raised, Ron Mohr himself matched it. That was pretty incredible.
So over $2,600 being directly donated as we compete here to benefit Riley Hospital for Children. Extra look, 10 back.
If you watch Parker right now, you might not know it. He's fired up because the lights are on, but he's really bowling in pain. When he was bowling Ron Mohr in the match play, he pulled a hamstring, and he's been sitting around with ice on his hamstring. And he was telling me as long as he can slide with his foot flat, it doesn't hurt quite so bad. But if he happens to get a little fast and quick and up on his toe, oh, he said it kills him.
That ball into the nose and a 4-pin for Parker Bohn III. Extra look.
Just inside a target, never really got it left, and that's the hook and lane on both sides. There's really no hold on that lane whatsoever. And we always like to look for hold, because if we make a mistake, ball stays on line. But this pattern, I think, is 2.38 to 1, so it's pretty flat. So there's not a lot of help out there. You better throw it with the same speed and pretty much the same rotation if you want the same reaction.
Brian Voss, showman among showmen. Tom, he's been featuring the lock, and he showed me the ball right prior to this match, and he's got the pin right under his middle finger.
That layout for most players, depending on what your axis is, but for Brian, I would imagine that's probably a 5.5, and it could even be a 6-inch pin. It really gets the ball down the lane long and lets it turn over on the back end. Brian's such a strong guy in his forearms that he can get the ball to rev up. And if you watch that ball, it really picks up right there and turns the corner. If you got a ball to read up too early on this pattern, it was tough to get it to what we call the spot, the break point down lane, to get the ball to match up to the pocket.
Opening match in the final tournament of the PBA 50 season. It's a major at the PBA National Championship. And an open frame, missed the 10-pin.
He backed that one up just a little bit too far. You know, most of the guys out here use spare balls. Brian and Norm Duke choose to throw their strike ball for their spares because they can actually back it up. But there's a penalty that can be paid for that, too. You can back it up too much.
Penalty paid, open frame for Voss. Opening match on our stepladder here tonight, live from Signature Lanes. Amleto Monacelli, the number 3 seed, will get the winner. Ron Mohr is in the semifinals. Sam Maccarone will bowl for this title against the survivor of the stepladder, and Voss recovers.
Absolute great shot there. I'm sure Sammy's liking where he's at on the upside of that stepladder instead of having to work through it. Working through all those Hall of Famers, probably not a good chance. You got to have a career day. If you watched Parker right there, he was really rubbing that hamstring. He's picking up his knee. It's really tough. I've bowled hurt before, and you want to make a good shot, but man, when that something hurts, you jump out of it. It's tough to actually really execute. You got to have severe focus.
Mixing strike for Parker Bohn. Interesting, talking about Sam Maccarone. It was Sam Maccarone that drove Parker Bohn III to his very first PBA Tour stop back in February of 1985.
I heard that when you were down there interviewing, and I was like, really? I would have thought, because I thought Parker was out here before that. But that's interesting. It just means that all of us guys have been out here for so long, from the 80s and 90s.
Fellow New Jerseyans. Sam from Blackwood, New Jersey. And now Parker Bohn III, clean, strike-working, beer frame. Extends his lead to 32 pins.
He probably could use the beer to get rid of the pain on that hamstring right now. Just kicks him out. Typical Parker Bohn just style. I mean, he's about as graceful going to the line as anybody that you've ever watched bowl. And I don't think his style has changed other than his hairstyle in the last 30 years. Voss in frame 5, and they're already crossing inside of third arrow trying to get it to that spot. And the lanes are so touchy right now because everybody tried to break them down for their favorite shot. And there was a lot of surface going down in practice. So the right side transition's going to be just a little bit interesting as the show goes on. You've seen that ball just never made the turn to the pocket. It looked like it stopped too soon.
Voss gets that 10-pin. He won Dave Small's Championship Lanes Classic in Anderson, Indiana for his first senior national title just a couple weeks ago. PBA and USBC Hall of Famer. 25 national titles on the PBA Tour, and his first just recently, a couple weeks ago in Anderson, Indiana. Previous best PBA 50 Tour finish, second in the 2009 Senior U.S. Open. and a third in the 13 Senior U.S. Open. Brian was the 2009 PBA50 Rookie of the Year.
Even though Brian just won this year, in his defense, he's been doing a lot of coaching. He's been overseas. He hasn't bowled a lot of the events. I mean, if he'd have been out here week after week after week, he'd have had a title way before that. But he had other commitments. And when he came out, everybody expected, just like Parker and Walder and Wayne Webb, that he was going to win either the first, second, stop that he entered.
Backs it up at the 3-6-10, perfect conversion.
I've always wanted to ask him and Norm, if you watch him when they set up, that wrist just kind of rocks back and forth and they start their motion, then it locks into place and boom, they strike. You just wonder how they determine when to stop. I've always wanted to know.
Parker Bohn up 3 marks. Pair of doubles to Voss's open frame, 6th frame, and Parker Bohn can extend his lead. Mixing, bucket combo, bucket crumbler, all but the 5.
Right lane's a little tighter. He's actually got some hold on that, but after you get fired up on that left lane for him, he's got to watch his tempo on that right lane because it does push just a little bit longer. And since he's the only lefty we have on the show, he can either make or break his own future here.
Needs to convert to maintain a 34-pin advantage.
About the time I look at that score, it changes sides. He's got a possible 258. And Voss is 224. So if Parker just keeps doing what he does, he's kind of in the driver's seat right now. He just can't let that hamstring come into play.
Parker pacing in the 2 teens. And that's light. Avoided a worse fate.
It's funny, as much as the lane's hook, there is an out of bounds. You get it too far left or right, left for the lefties, right for us, the ball just hangs. I mean, the track area is so predominant. You got to keep it there to see the friction to make the ball set up to the pocket.
So 2 non-strikes will give Voss his opportunity to step up and double in the 7th and 8th to make Bohn think.
Yeah, he could close the gap a little bit here, the next 2 frames. You know, Roger, the first time we've been here, done a great job. I mean, he had a carnival outside. He had
live music.
Live music
every
outside.
night.
He had bands. They had a big semi out there with bands. They had a guy cooking ribs and pulled pork out here in front. I mean, he went all
I got to
out.
know that guy pretty well.
Oh, that pulled pork was awesome.
Important shot for Voss. Needs a strike. 7th frame opening match on the stepladder in the PBA50 National Championship. Ooh, 6 around the 10.
That was a pretty doggone good shot. I mean, he dead posted that shot. He thought he had it. He followed it all the way down to the pocket. And the corners were tough here. And what was really kind of prevalent here was the 7-10s. I mean, it was amazing that the shot looked good and you could leave a 7-10. In the match play today, there were several.
Man,
well, he'd have picked up a 7-10.
He sure would have. Among the best ever at doing that. Voss rolled it across the deck, and he watched it the whole way, so he knows. Watch the...
It rolled up and out. You cut that off just a little too quick.
There was no 7-pin. It didn't matter.
We saw it live, and so did Brian, for future reference. But must think nothing but strikes now.
The signature fist, I got it. You've seen a lot of that when he won. That could have been a questionable pickup of the lint over there. He didn't really motion to John Weber about that. Now, like normally, if you reach over the foul line for something, you better let somebody know. If your glasses fall off, a pin falls out of your pocket.
Lose $1 worth of quarters. Parker Bohn in command. And mirror image 4 around the 7.
Yeah, he thought that was there. He locked and loaded on that one. He was dead solid. The ball just didn't pick up. He's actually using a ball we talked about that he really hasn't used a whole lot of, but since there was so much oil today during the tournament in the match play rounds, because he never got to use it, it hooked so much, and he actually had to put some surface on it to get it to even hook more.
Foundation frame, Parker Bohn III, plus 33.
Ooh. From this angle, it almost looked like it was going to run up a little high, but it held. I mean, Parker's got such great speed. They don't have the speed on here, but he was throwing balls 18. His spare shots were 23 mile an hour.
Brian Voss absolutely must strike in the 9th. He can shoot .213, which would force a mark out of Bohn in the 10th.
Unfortunately, his look on the left lane hasn't been too good. And
that
that's
will
not
end
a good
the day for Brian Voss.
Ball just never picked up. He got down to the break point and looked and just laid off. That 210 converts it 43-63. Best he can do is 193. And unfortunately, he's going to go home with a decent check. Very disappointed, I know, because that trophy sitting up there looks really nice. They actually got 2 trophies here. And the one is they're going to stay here, and they're going to put the winners. There it is. The one on the left, they're going to put the winners up the sides every year. And the champion takes home the Riley Trophy. Pretty sweet. Roger went all out. Trophies.
Beautiful. Befitting of a major championship. And Brian Voss will finish 5th. And folks have asked, the format is the same format we've used in other events. Why is this one a major? And it is due to the support of this facility and this community. The prize fund has been elevated, $10,000 for the champion. And all of the surrounding elements have made it a major championship to end the 2016 PBA 50 Tour.
That's kind of funny right there. He moved right and played basically up 11-12, where I thought they were going to play, in the beginning. And that's about the only place you can go on this pair, because it feels like you want to go left, but your carry isn't all that fantastic. And it kind of sucks you into the wrong place on the lane. Finishes with a solid 180. That's not what he wanted to do, because he had a pretty good look in practice. But with you got 5 guys trying to break the lanes down to shape them up for themselves, things tend to change. And this on any pattern, I don't care if it's league or what you're bowling on. You throw sanded equipment down a lane, you're going to change the ball reaction.
All right, I know you're going to check in with Parker prior to the next match. What do you see, and what are you going to tell him as you're his coach?
Well, being the ball rep for Brunswick, from up here it's a great angle, and that right lane, I think that he needs to move a little bit left on it and get a little bit more in the friction on it. And the left lane, if he can do what he normally does, because it's got more friction to it anyway, and just let the ball go and let it read the pattern, I think he'll be fine. He actually is probably going to move right on the left and left on the right.
Parker Bohn III, winner, and another Hall of Fame matchup coming your way next. Parker Bohn III takes on Amleto Monacelli. We'll have it live at Signature Lanes.
We are waiting for Amleto Monacelli. so. Thank you.
So Amleto is going to come on board, and he's going to get 6 warm-up shots before we start the second match, and then we'll get things underway again right around 20. So, by the way, Amleto's won 20 times on the PBA Tour, 6 championships out here on the PBA50 Tour, 2012 PBA50 Rookie of the Year, and picked Amleto's most recent title on the PBA Tour rather. Came this year in Japan. He won the Japan Cup just this year against the young guys, so he's still got what it takes, still going good. Wasn't quite the opening match I expected, but Amleto and Parker are going to get a lot better here just shortly. Nice round of applause.
John Weber making things happen. It's Mike Jakubowski with Tom Carter, and we welcome you to Signature Lanes in Elkhart, Indiana. Closing event of the PBA50 Tour for 2016. It's the PBA50 National Championship to benefit Riley Hospital for Children. And the winner of our opening match, Parker Bohn III, and fellow PBA Hall of Famer Amleto Monacelli. And you got the inside scoop down there, Tom.
Well, I talked to Parker, and what we seen up here was right. He goes, the right lane's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And he goes, all week long I played him the same. He said, now it's getting tighter and the left lane's hooking on me. So I'm sure you're going to see him move left on the right lane, and it's going to take him a little bit, but he's going to move right on the left lane. Always a crowd favorite. He keeps everybody upbeat.
Number 3 seed has indicated that Parker Bohn will begin this match. Here's the opening shot. And it's a good one.
Dead pure. He likes his look on the left lane, and until it absolutely blows apart, he won't be doing a lot of movement, but he did agree that he's got a lot more motion on the left lane than the right lane.
Hall of Famer Amleto Monacelli, 20 career PBA Tour titles. Coming out on the Senior Tour, he was the Rookie of the Year in 2012. And he won in Fountain Valley for the 6th time on the PBA Senior Circuit. Looking for his 7th here tonight. Light, 2-4, 8-10.
Now, we just got through seeing Voss on that right lane get to that spot and the ball not finish, leaving 2 10s. And even though Amleto's got a lot more rev rate than Brian does and is a lot more angler on the back end, it's still something down there. It's not letting the ball read. And he's going to have to make a major adjustment. And not the easiest spare in the world to convert.
Gets the count, 9 out for Amleto Monacelli. Finished 4th this year in the Suncoast Senior U.S. Open after winning previously in 2012 and 2013 at Suncoast in Las Vegas.
You know, some people home might think, well, how come he didn't try to pick it up? And it's always better to go for count. I mean, we're looking at a percentage spare. And if he tried to hook it at it and maybe just get 1 pin, he lost 2 pins in count. And it only takes 1 pin to win. I know it's impressive to pick up a spare like that, but not always practical.
Not the right moment to go for that. Monacelli electing for count. 2nd frame, first crack at the left lane. And that overcooks.
He really moved in on that left lane. He almost crossed 4th arrow there, and that ball just checked up. And that lane is on fire. He did cross right at like 19, took it clear out to 5, and the ball just changed directions way, way too hard on the back end. You really don't want to give a bowler like Parker 2-frame lead.
And that's what just happened. Open start from Amleto Monacelli. And Bohn can step on the gas early.
You know, you got 6 shots on that lane on the break. Well, on both lanes, actually. A total of 6 shots. And it looked like when I was down there, he had it pretty well figured out. But when the lights come on, get a little amped up, things change a little bit. You know,
I've never seen Parker do that, but I've seen it a lot recently.
This tournament, and I mentioned it to his boys, that might be the 6th or 7th time during this tournament that he's backed off. And during the next break, I'll ask. You normally never see him balk like that.
But recovers to go bang, bang.
It was a good balk.
Good. Parker Bohn III will be hosting a youth scholarship tournament coming up in Howell, New Jersey at Howell Lanes. They've been doing it for 15 years. Labor Day weekend featuring divisions in under 12, under 15, and under 20. For more information, visit Parker Bohn's website. Howell Lanes in New Jersey will be hosting the big youth scholarship tournament Labor Day weekend.
He does a great thing with the kids, getting kids motivated to bowl and holding clinics. And who wouldn't want to be coached by Parker? Three-bagger is really putting nails in the coffin early. So after here, you're off to Detroit?
We are actually headed to Middletown, Delaware.
Oh, okay.
We'll be covering, I'm glad you asked, that's what we call a segue in the business.
Okay.
More extra frame coverage coming your way Saturday and Sunday following our title match tonight. We'll have the extra frame Gene Carter's Pro Shop Classic, and it's for a PBA Tour title and $15,000 Saturday and Sunday. Qualifying getting underway 8 a.m. Eastern Time all day on Saturday. Here's Monacelli.
Little adjustment.
Light hit.
A light hit. I mean, that ball didn't peel off the spot, but at least he got to the pocket. It's not a 210 or 24810. But you could see that ball just kind of stop before it got there. So when does Detroit start then?
Detroit will start on Labor Day, and I'm glad you brought that up too, because entries open for the fall swing, including the PBA Detroit Open, 3 pattern championships, 4 titles, and 5 shows on the CBS Sports Network. If you or someone you love would like to get in that event, PBA Fall Swing getting underway Labor Day. Go to PBA.com and enter right now. Well, after this shot anyway.
Oh! Snaps off the 10. I mean, that shot looked like it crossed the same board, but it didn't get out near as far down at the break point.
Watch the pin action here in the head pin.
Yeah, he didn't get it out near as far. He saw the front of that 10 pin off.
Head pin actually went the wrong way. It was a 6 pin that clipped it from the front. And a very, very important double for Monacelli.
At least it keeps him in the match. Twice. That might be number 8. I got to find out. It's either the feel or his legs bothering him, but I've never seen him actually back off that many times. There's nothing wrong with backing off if you get up and you make a shot like that. Clear your mind, get set, dead post the shot. 10 back.
For my money, one of the interesting things about Parker's game is so many, in fact, almost exclusively now, 5-steppers, 6-steppers, 7-steppers, but Parker does it the old-fashioned way.
4 steps.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And in beautiful sync, too. And you got guys like Brian Kretzer out here. At one time, I think he was taking 13 steps. Guys have done all kinds of different approaches to try to keep their feet from getting too fast to the line, because that's the worst thing in the world. You get too fast, your arm gets around the ball too quick, your hand does, the thumb goes down, and you tug a shot, and it's not good by any means. And I think he just missed that at the bottom of the swing. He wasn't happy with that at all.
So good news for Monacelli, loss of count and a tough.
That is a 6 count.
Yeah, that's a double woodwalk shot.
The 1-3-9-7. Did you catch that? Amazing. He's like Bruce Lee, just caught a fly in midair.
Pick that up. I'll tell you that story later over a beverage, Tom. Open frame.
And it looked like he had it. He thought he had it. And the head pin just went right in front of the 7. That tightened up things quite well. If Monacelli keeps striking, that became a 7-pin match in the 5th frame. Unbelievable.
Jeff, off air, if you could just take another look at that spare conversion, we may have a score correction. It appeared to be 7 count on the spare. Just want to make sure we get that right. It does affect count. We'll take another look here just a moment. Here's Monacelli, who gets the big turkey. And let's just go back and take a look at that. And if I can confirm that, I'm going to just let Tournament Director John Weber know to correct that score.
You don't think the 9 was there?
Yeah, it appeared like there was a little white behind the curtain that gave me the impression that there was a pin, but we'll double check that.
Gotta love instant replay.
When it works, it's great. Here's Monacelli right back in it. String of strikes working, 6th frame.
Ooh, that ball was a little deeper at the arrows. He was like 22 at the arrows. Moved in a little bit, got a little bit of push down lane. Takes it out to like 7-8. Tightened up his ankles a little bit.
And let's get a second look at that attempt on the washout. Looks like there's something. No, I take that back. That was indeed a 6-count, correctly marked effort.
Must have been a reflection.
Appreciate that second look before somebody calls the bowling center. They do that at golf tournaments now. They actually call the golf course. Ball in the nose, and all of a sudden goes away from Parker and coming to Monacelli.
As well as he was throwing it, maybe that last shot on the left lane got to him a little bit, because that one he definitely got in, and that's the tighter lane. Simple spare conversion for Parker. You hardly ever see that guy miss a 1, 2, 3 pin spare. I mean, if it's a spare like he just had where there's almost a split, you don't call him a split if the head pin's there, but it looks that way.
Winner of this match moves to the semifinal and will face Ron Mohr.
You can see he's checking out, wondering who he's going to have to bowl.
And no matter what Bohn does on this shot, Monacelli can take the lead away. Parker's up 7 pins, 7th frame. That was inside a target. And a massive break on the
and gets
2
a
of
break.
the 4.
He didn't like it off his hand. He didn't like it down the lane. But round objects, hitting round objects, he got a break. Definitely high on the head pin. And a nice little messenger comes over and does a double tap, takes out the 2-4 for him.
Matters not. Monacelli can step up and take the lead.
He definitely changed the line on that right lane. That ball didn't quit. He got away from that burn spot down lane that was making the ball stop. Good move. Phil Brylow on the side camera.
Doing the J-O-B. William. So after a pair of open frames, Monacelli runs a 5-bagger, takes the lead from Parker. Bohn can extend it with another strike, 8th frame. Winner gets Ron Mohr in the semifinal. Sam Maccarone is waiting to bowl for the title.
Toughest thing in the world is sit back there and wait. I know you'd rather be bowling. Oh, he is definitely lined up now. He changed his angles, tightened up the line, got away from that extra friction down lane, keeping the ball on line, point A to point B. Gotta love it. That famous elbow snap of Monacelli.
6-bagger and now a 13-pin advantage. But Parker Bohn, with a strike working, can take the lead back with a double of his own. Strikes in the 8th and 9th will snatch the lead back for Parker Bohn III. Final major and final championship in 2016 on the PBA50 tour.
A back off again. Something's just not setting right with him. I think his leg is really starting to bother him. He's got to grind through this. Then he gets a little bit of a break. Last time he backed off, he struck. Maybe he should back off every shot. That's what I'm going with.
Another rhythm maneuver.
Did you bring your friends with you today?
Yeah, we've been getting dive bombed by a series of flies as once again the extra frame challenges continue. We had lightning earlier take us out for a couple minutes.
It shut down the whole place. I was hoping the scores were going to come back. And I'm like, oh, my God, they're like in the second frame.
Don't worry. The locusts will follow the flies. They eat the flies.
Hey, well, at least something else other than my motorhome breaking down. I got 4 hours to get home.
Inside a target
Oh.
and avoids major trouble.
Not liking it off his hand at all. He pushed the last one too far left, got this one, tried to ride that shim, and just didn't get it done. Well, while you guys are in Detroit, I'm going to be bowling my first 60 tournament, since I'll be a young 60.
Nice.
I don't know if there's such a thing, but
Sexy 60.
yeah, well, let's not go there. I got to get there first.
That's right.
A week from today. That's just hard to believe. Where'd time go?
Be a celebration.
I'll be bowling the Peterson on my birthday.
Nice. That's a good way to celebrate. Hope you bowl 60 there.
Totally frustrated. There you go.
Monacelli mixing.
Oh.
Shaky bake 8.
There was another one. That ball got to that spot and it just didn't finish again. I'd like to know what's on that lane down there because you can just see it. It just quit moving to the left. This place is about 15, no, it was built in 2005, so 10 years old. Parker actually knows the gentleman that built this place.
Couple of oohs and ahs, but the spare goes down. 3-pin lead for Amleto Monacelli. And Monacelli will step up with a chance to shut out Parker Bohn. 2 strikes and 8.
Possible 236 for Monacelli. Bohn 233. He's actually on the lane he likes. That's probably not into Parker's favor at this point.
Strikes here since the 4th. 10th frame. Mixing, strike.
He wound on that one. He got that down, cleared it, thumb out, total fingers. Ameleto's doing a good thing along with Bob Lur, and they're traveling all over the country. They're doing clinics and coaching, which is, more people we get to turn into better bowlers, the more bowlers we get.
A great lesson for anyone at home, too, as you look at the beginning 5 frames of this match and where it is heading. Opening 4-bagger for Bohn, open for Monacelli.
And it is just totally like a coin, flipped over. Possibility of Amleto shutting out Parker. You never give up.
Double, and now hammer in hand 8, and he advances to face Ron Mohr.
Just dead pure. He off of his hand, playing the same part of the lane, crossing 20-21 out to 7-8 down lane. 8 pins is a winner, 7 a possible tie.
Media contingent on board here, including the great Jerry F. Schneider. I've worked with Jerry the better part of 2+ decades. When Jerry Schneider's in the building, it's a bowling tournament. 8 for the win. That'll do it.
And it almost looked like that was going to be out the door and a washout. Unfortunately, Parker, the best he can do is 233, going to lose by 2 if he strikes out. Still a great tournament for him. Too bad that, unfortunately, he tore his hamstring a little bit. And it's tough to compete when, you're trying to make a shot in pain.
Here's the winning pitch.
Crossed just to the right of 4th area. He'd been playing 20-22, and that was like 18. Just about got it too far to the right. Got a little too amped up, but it worked out in his favor.
Parker Bohn heading to Howell Lanes in Howell, New Jersey for the youth scholarship event there. U12, U15, and U20 divisions. For more information, parkerbohn.com or his Facebook page, Parker Bohn the third official, over Labor Day weekend. Parker Bohn, top 5 finish here in the PBA50 National Championship. And
the only lefty in the top 16. Yeah. He ground his way, as he put it, through the whole tournament to get to this point. And it's tough when you're beating up against a whole bunch of right-handers and nobody's breaking down your side of the lane except for you. Like, It can turn into be a great thing. Unfortunately, it can turn into be a bad thing sometimes. Finishes it out with a 3-bagger, 233. Great tournament for Parker Bohn.
Semifinal coming next. Amleto Monacelli versus former PBA 50 Player of the Year Ron Mohr. We'll have it for you. Stay with us live from Elkhart.
Elkhart, thanks a lot. Had a great time. See you again next year.
We're going to take some more practice now, and Amleto's welcome to warm up on 18, but these two guys are going to take a few shots here, and semifinal match coming up. He's taking 6. I didn't tell him far enough in advance. I just asked him this evening, actually. So, my fault. I'm going to tell him. Well, if Roger has his back, he's got to go. Well, I haven't talked to him yet, the first show, so I'm not sure. Yeah. By the way, one of the guys that made that big donation and matched all the other players' checks, he's still in the running. Just with him. Okay, semi-final match underway. One more round of applause.
And the unique perspective of Extra Frame when we watch on television, you don't get to see the practice sessions. And it's Mike Jakubowski with Tom Carter. So, you know, usually we go away from a match and we may even leave early to save some time after a fill ball that doesn't matter. But to actually get to watch the practice of what goes on is interesting.
Yeah, because you see them try different things, maybe try different balls, trying to figure out what the lanes are going to do. Obviously, you can't see the oil, so your balls are the only thing that's telling you what's going down the lane and how the lanes are breaking down. And obviously, Amleto has figured out what the lanes are doing. And that's the hardest thing in the world is, you know, we're fighting an invisible enemy. And everybody wants to have their favorite shot or their favorite game, their favorite release. But a lot of times, you know, you got to do something different. And it might not be in your comfort zone, but that's what it's going to take to score on this pattern.
Semifinal PBA50 National Championship, Ron Mohr, second seed, and his opening shot on the right lane to Monacelli's strike. And Ron strikes right back.
Ron attacking the lanes a little bit different. He's much more direct going down the lane. The classic style of Ron Mohr that, I mean, it's almost like an explosion follow through if you watch him. I mean, he's just, his arm goes so high it almost scratches his back. he gets through the shot. I had a chance to go down and talk to Parker. He was wondering why he was. It's the humidity, and he goes. He's been doing it the last couple of weeks because of we're in the Midwest, and depending on the air conditioning and everything in the center, the humidity. His hands getting really sweaty, and he's backing off and resetting with his hand. I think this is the 8th show that Ron Mohr has made this season, and hasn't won yet.
You are correct. Second frame for Mohr, and a little high flush hit. We'll get into that too. He's tripped a bunch of 4s, but yeah, 8 top 50 or 8 top 5 finishes, including PBA 50 and 60.
He is an incredible match play bowler, and when it comes to match play, it's just like there's a switch back here somewhere that he turns on, and he can literally go from the bottom of the field within a couple matches. He's at the top. But he's had some bad breaks during the TV show and just hasn't been able to cap off a win. But he's to make 8 shows. That's huge. That's almost like Pete winning 5 shows.
Monacelli, no strike there, has been featuring the Dark Legend with the pin below middle and no hole.
When you watch Amleto from the side, and everybody, the biggest thing I hear as a coach, your footwork's too fast, your footwork's too fast. And if you watch a lot of these players, their feet aren't really slow. They actually go to the line. That's what creates rhythm. A little short step, boom, 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 quick step there. He's gone. And everybody tries to get so slow in their approach, and they become mechanical. You know, you got to let the ball swing, and you can't let it swing if you're trying to creep up to the line.
Semi-final match. Mo versus Mo. Monacelli versus Mohr. Mo. Mohr.
Oh.
And first non-strike for Monacelli, 3-6.
The dreaded hooking lane. That was inside around 22. Didn't get out till 8. More like 10 down lane. And that's a big thing. Since we don't have the markers down lane like Pro Anvilane does, some guys call them cheater boards, whatever you like to call them. It's actually a break point, and if you don't have those markers down lane, if you look at the reflection of the pins on the lane, that kind of gives you an idea where that break point's going to be, to someplace to throw the ball. And if you watch Amleto, he's getting outside of the reflection of the 6-pin down lane, and that one didn't quite make it there.
Yeah, you mentioned Pete Weber. He's won 6 times. He's going to be back-to-back PBA 50 Player of the Year. And he has dominated, and he's received some great breaks in his 6 titles. And as you mentioned, Mohr with 8 top 5 finishes, 6 in the PBA 50, and he hasn't come through with a win.
On his side, I mean, it's got to be frustrating making that many TV shows and not making it. But then if you look at the great players, I'm sure Walter Ray and Pete and Parker have a bunch of 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in their career with only 40-some wins, you know.
So Ron Mo picks up the front 3.
You look at Ron, and I mentioned this last time I seen him on the show. His wrist is so firm, and part of that is because that index finger, when he puts his hand in the ball, he presses so hard with his index finger on the ball to keep that wrist locked in, and he's right up the back of the ball. And he kind of does what Amleto does to a certain extent. He's got that hook set down lane, and when you can find where your ball hooks and sets to the pocket, you strike a lot. Watch that index finger. He hooks it and presses, and you can see it right there. I mean, it's absolutely locked in on that ball.
Walked it out, and Ron actually attributes part of that, Tom, to both his natural ball roll, and then he also prefers his favorite layouts, which make it stand up as it does.
He doesn't like to, what we call, circle the lane. He likes to find that hook spot and watch the ball set up on the back end. And if you watch him, and you watch Pete, and you watch Amleto, from tournament to tournament to tournament, it always looks like, because their roll is so good, they get to play the same part of the lane almost in every tournament, no matter what the pattern is. And when you get to do your favorite thing on every pattern, your chance of being on the show is pretty good.
Monacelli, strike, spare, strike, and an extra look.
Most of us are trying to keep the ball on line, do tricks, and do this, and they just seem like they do the same thing all the time. When we had Amleto on the show not too long ago, and I think we get it again today, we caught it really well, and you can see his thumb out of the ball, his fingers extending through the shot, his fingers still in the ball, lifting up the back side of it. And you wonder why so many people think that they have to get around the side of the ball to make it hook, and he lifts right up the back through it. And I think it's a big misconception. What people think they see and what's actually happening is two different things. Well, he's getting around it. No, he's not. He's dead behind it. Right there, you can see his fingers roll right through the back of the ball. That's what makes it hook, not trying to get your hand go around the side of it. That makes the ball spin.
Ron Mohr has been featuring the no rules with the Alpha Crux. And his mantra is to be slow and to let it read. He had been playing 7-8, but then when he wants to open things up, he will not be afraid to jump 8 left.
Well, he's in his comfort zone right here where he's crossing right around 15, now the 8 down lane. And that's where he seems to play almost every week. And when the shot breaks down into there, he's going to strike forever, and he normally does. And his focus and concentration, I think, is incredible. I think that's the best attribute to his game. Being an ex-air traffic controller for 25 years, that takes a little focus.
And the ability to sequence things, too. He can sequence lane moves. He can sequence ball selection, ball layouts, and it's almost like the mental chess game of staying 3 and 4 moves ahead.
And he does it very well. And that's what the great players do. They make moves. They see it before it ever happens. They know what they're going to do. The average player kind of has to hit them in the face first. And they go, oh, I need to move.
I'm always 4 frames too late. Oh, my goodness, a blower, 7-10.
Did I say something about that earlier?
You did indeed.
We've seen several of those this week. You know, you hear that thing from league bowlers all the time that, you know, they want to move, and they don't move during league, and then all of a sudden they move in the 10th frame, and they strike out, and they go, man, I should have moved sooner. These guys, they move before they, you know, you're like, why'd you move? They see the way the ball goes through the pins, how it leaves the deck, how it mixes up the pins, and that determines where they're going to move. Just because they might have struck doesn't mean they're going to stay there again.
So the open frame after the 5-bagger for Ron Mohr, Monacelli double working. He climbed out of a hole the previous match. Can he do it again? Winner gets Sam Maccarone for the title. Here comes Monacelli.
Yeah, he just dead stuck that shot at the line, poked it, watched it all the way down. There's that release. You see his hand go right through the back of the ball, and boom. And yeah, you know what's amazing? You watch some of these guys, and we get the close-up of them. Sometimes you can see their lips moving. I mean, they're talking to themselves. They're telling themselves what they have to do, you know, to relax themselves, get back in the game. They take one shot at a time. They stay in the moment where, you know, the average bowler, we get a little excited, get a little amped up, and we get ahead of ourselves, and that ends up being a bad shot.
double,
Yeah.
and Monacelli has taken a 2-pin lead.
This is kind of like deja vu. Didn't this just happen? That's why they're Hall of Famers, and that's why they have so many titles. You don't give them a break. You give them that one little opening, and they see a crack of daylight, and they go for it.
So Mohr on the open can double, take the lead back. Semifinal PBA50 National Championship.
It's kind of funny. I talked to him before the position round. He didn't really like his position in the pair he was bowling on. He goes, as soon as this is over, we're headed to Colorado. I'm going to get out of here. Then he shoots 260 in the position round. And I go, oh, you're on the show. For a guy who didn't like the pair he's on, what do you do when you do like a pair that you're on? Asking for a re-rec. These are the neatest scores. This cycle of pins took us a while to get used to them this week because we didn't know how to do it. There's no buttons on the ball return. There are buttons, but they don't work. And everybody's pressing buttons.
Here's a look at
John Weber and Wonder Woman
and Linda Carter, who have supported the PBA 50 Tour all year, and they both make things happen. Our thanks to John and Wonder Woman.
Oh, she is so going to kill you. And
our great appreciation and admiration for those two and everyone that bowls out here on the senior circuit. Thanks to John and Linda.
It's been a fun season. I mean, running the pro shops and stuff, for 8 months, just counting down the days until the next, we start again. And once it starts, I mean, we left like April 8th, and all of a sudden, here it is, August 17th, and it's over. It happens so fast.
Chance to take the lead back, 8th frame. 7-10 here last time. And a big break on the 4-9.
Huge break, almost a 4-9. Turns into a strike, snaps it off. Now we're picking up an extra stop next year, too. Kokomo.
Love it. Expansion this year to 14 stops with 4 majors, and another one next year, the 2017 PBA 50 Tour. And a very happy birthday tomorrow to Ryan Schaefer, who turns 50.
Oh, that's what we need. Just one more fantastic great bowler out here. Are you kidding me?
Schaefer out here next year.
Oh, he threw pins everywhere on that shot.
So now the lead changing hands every ball, and Monacelli snatches it back.
You look up there, which Mo is leading?
2-pin match favoring that Mo, Amleto Monacelli. And there's Sam Maccarone keeping an eye on things. Winner will get.
Well, Mac's looking at what he's throwing because they both throw EBI equipment. So Sammy's trying to make sure that, he's in the same ballpark as Amleto.
And strike there. Monacelli cannot be shut out. No matter what happens, Monacelli will have a chance to win it in the 10th.
Amleto looking very hungry. Posting the shot and just posing at the line, knowing it's good.
So into it that he kind of bumped into the monitor on the way through.
Yeah, getting a little excited.
But he knows that he can't lose.
The traditional headband. We haven't seen that for a while. When his hair was longer, he would wear that. Ron Mohr needing to strike here to put some pressure back on Amleto. Dead flush down the lane. Ron's, without the wrist action that Amleto has, both of them are right up the back of the ball. Sammy trying to walk it off. Look at their nerves are getting to him a little bit, I think. He's wanted pretty bad. He's gone through some super health issues with his heart and operations and things, and it's just great to see him back out here competing, and now a chance to win another PBA 50 title. That's awesome.
Give that hard a workout.
Yes. Never give up. You never know when your dreams are going to come true.
And now the 10th frame. Ron Mohr can get the lead back with a strike.
Uh-oh, little distraction. Somebody moved over to the right, or he's seen somebody. Was that Phil?
No, Phil's a statue down there.
It's like quiet in here. You can hear a pin drop.
That was inside all the way in a 6-10.
He's shaking his head. He knew it was bad off of his hand. Didn't like it. You just can't do that with Amleto because Amleto's in the lead. He wasn't very solid on that shot. It's like he tried to put a little bit extra on it. Ball didn't hold the line. Got a possible 244. Picks this up and strikes. All Amleto has to do is mark in the 10th. This has got to be very disheartening for him. The 8th show and not being able to take home the title. But, you know, for some of us, it'd be like, I made 8 shows. I'm tickled to death. You know, you always want to win, but
Hallmark of consistent performance.
I mean, how consistent can you be? I mean, he made over half the shows we have on our swing. That's incredible. You got to look back on that on the drive home, and he's got to say to himself, I had a good season. I didn't win, but, man, I was there every week. And when you're like that, percentages are with you. You're going to win.
High flush hit. Arriba.
That just put the last nail in the coffin. All he had to do was mark, and he's shooting 260. He strikes out. What a great tournament Amleto is having this week. This pattern is kind of fell right into his wheelhouse.
The 7-10 was the difference in the match.
Right. The front 5. If he strikes, he's got the front 9. You know, you're looking at shooting 300, 279 at worse. Oh, another almost 7-10. So Amleto's going to walk out here with a 250 game.
Coming up next, title match, Hall of Famer Amleto Monacelli, a winner on the 50 Tour this year, looks for his second. And Sam Maccarone, 2-time PBA 50 winner, 150 title, 160 title. He'll bowl Monacelli for this title, a major, and the last senior title of 2016 on the PBA 50 Tour. Coming up next, Sam Maccarone versus Amleto Monacelli for the title.
Good match. I can tell you that the guy that made that contribution is no longer in the run. One other thing, following this championship match, stick around Mike Jakubowski, sometimes known as Mike J. Laneside. He's going to come out and do an interview with the champion. It should be a good one. Mike's a pro, and should be a good interview, so stick around for a check and trophy presentation and an interview with the champion. this is a major that Roger Brown put on for the PBA. It's a major to the PBA 50 players, which means a lot. It's what they're all after. It's $10,000 for first, compliments of Roger Brown. So it's an important match for the guys, and it should be a good one. So I hope you enjoy the rest of it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is what it's all about. One more match.
Title match, PBA 50 National Championship to benefit Riley Hospital. Mike Jakubowski with Tom Carter. Here we go. Amleto Monacelli versus Sam Maccarone. Our tournament leader has said that Amleto will begin on the left lane. Here we go. 10 frames of bowling to determine our major champion.
That was probably a good move on Sammy's part because that right lane has been touchy. And looks like maybe the humidity is getting to Amleto, not set up quite right. You know, if everybody watched during practice, it's going to be an interesting match.
And in the nose, 3-6, opening shot.
And you got to wonder, because he crossed 22, he got it out to 8. Did he just hit it too hard because this is the title match? Is the lane changing? And only he knows that. But from our perspective, I'd say that lane's starting to hook a lot. That was almost a chop, and he knows it.
Here's Sam Maccarone. He's won twice on the PBA National Tour as you look at the 3 and the 6 going down. Both of his titles coming in 1988. Sam also a winner on the PBA 50 Tour and also a win as a PBA 60 player in a 60-only event, looking for his second PBA 50 title and third overall senior national title here tonight. Opening shot from Maccarone.
Sammy's striking. Sammy's got a totally different style and perspective to the game. You watch Sammy, he's down and through the ball, long with the swing, where Amleto is kind of up and through it. And pretty interesting. We're going to have two different styles attacking it, but I think they're both going to be playing the lane the same way.
Sam knows it too. He says the key to my game is to stay down and to be firm.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid to get in deeper. He said he generally started around third arrow and migrated to fourth arrow when it gets choppy. And he is right over fourth arrow.
And he was over fourth arrow. But the thing he said he wanted to do, he didn't do that time. He kind of jumped out of that shot. Adrenaline's got to be going. He gets to the line. You see him kind of fall to the right, kind of jump up on it, but the ball held, and he didn't get it to that hook spot, so it was okay. I really think from watching the last couple matches, if you can keep the ball a little tighter, point A to point B, and not swerve it so much, you're going to strike a lot more on this pattern right now.
Monacelli looking for his 7th career PBA 50 title here tonight, to go with his 20 on the National PBA Tour.
Locked and loaded. That's probably not exactly what Sammy was wanting to see, that he flushed the shot on the right lane, since he's forcing him to finish there. Ball came in high last time on this. I mean, really hooked it. It's going to be interesting to see if he's going to move a little bit deeper, if he's going to tighten up the line. I just went with deeper. And he did. He was closer to fifth arrow, like 23, 24 at the arrows, to the same break point down lane. Just tried to catch a little more push going through the front part of the lane.
Extra look. About 3 or 4 deeper than where Maccarone is.
Well, you got to figure there's always going to be more oil on the left side because there's less left-handers. So you got to chase that shot to the left and find out where you can get that ball to push down the lane to that friction spot down lane.
And we'll get a reset.
It's been a kind of a back-off balking type day today.
Gives us a chance to send out an extra frame shout to PBA 50 player John Burkett. Burkett recovering from foot surgery, and a beautiful picture that was tweeted with John in Cabo watching extra frame, and his family got him a Spider-Man raft to put in his cast so he can watch us in the pool. That is the power of extra frame.
There you go. Enjoying the vacation. Gotta love it.
See you in 2017 on the tour, John, and the ball's light, comes up short, 2-pin.
Sammy's got to start posting shots, and he's kind of bouncing out of it a little bit quick, not getting the ball right to where he wants to get it down the break point. And you lose leverage when you're falling off the shot, and leverage is huge. I mean, you think you're actually probably hitting it more, and you're not. You're actually hitting it less when you're falling off the shot. I mean, how accurate would you be at the foul? Yeah, at the free throw line if I come up and pushed you.
You bet.
When you got to stay solid.
One of the things I enjoy about Maccarone is, I don't care how old he is, when you talk to him, you look in his eyes and you swear he's still 14, bowling his buddy for a junior match, and he has that same light in his eyes and passion for the game. And
it's never died with him. You know, and that's why we're out here. I mean, that thing that they say winning never gets old, it doesn't. You know, you want to win if you like to be competitive, or if you are competitive and you like to compete. For the guys that didn't get to come out because they had jobs and families, this is the venue for you to come out and bowl with and against the greatest bowlers in the world.
That was posted, but it comes up high, and that looks like a 6 count. Yeah, 3, 6, 9, 10.
Not the spare that you want to shoot. It's kind of like the 3, 6, 10. 9,000 ways to miss it and one way to pick it up, pretty much. You don't want to push it out too far because you'll miss the 3-pin, but if you cut it short, you hit the 3-9, you miss the 6-10.
And
slid it
just
a little
wide, but skinny the 3 and the 9.
I don't know what hit the 9, but it went over, and that's all he cares about.
This is when internal organs migrate north.
Yeah, look at that. It doesn't even look like he was going to hit the 3-pin there for a second. He's like, thank you, bowling gods.
early in our title match for the final title and major of the 2016 PBA 50 Tour. It's between Monacelli and Maccarone. Amleto up in the 4th. Perfect.
Looks like he's feeling very comfortable on that right lane, and he gets to finish on it, and that's probably a good thing for him. You know, if he's figured it out, he got away from that dead spot down lane that made the ball just check up too soon. Sammy's going to have to get on his horse and start striking. But like in the previous matches, whoever had the lead, it kind of flip-flopped. So this match is far from over.
Monacelli already a winner out here on the PBA 50 Tour at Fountain Valley. That was one of the weeks Pete Weber had taken off during his run of 6 wins on the PBA 50 Tour.
That was just insane to watch.
Looking for his 2nd and 7th overall. Boom, boom.
Putting some pressure on Sammy right now. Yeah, Pete took off. His hip was bothering him a little bit, and he wanted to rest up, getting ready for the swing starting in. I don't know if he's going out east, but I know he's going to Detroit, so getting ready for that.
Monacelli with the 4-bagger. Now Maccarone opened with the double. And now behind.
He looks very comfortable there, just his stance.
That was posted through the shot.
Right.
But as you mentioned, the leverage and the fall came after the leverage was there.
After he delivered the shot. And that's the way he bowled this whole week. He just threw the shot, boom. Now he sees where it's at. He steps out of it. You can't step out of it as you're throwing it. It doesn't work. If you're falling to the right, the ball's going to the left.
So trailing by 25, Maccarone checks the scoreboard. He knows he's down 25, and he can cut into the lead with a double here in the 6th. He can cut it to 15.
Now he's back on track. I think the nerves have calmed down a little bit. The jits are over, and we're going to see a match the rest of the way out. You know, he had to pull out of a tournament a couple weeks back. He was in the finals, and his heart went into AFib, and he had to get to the doctor. And, you know, being a bowler and a competitor, the last thing he wanted to do was leave a tournament that he's in the finals in. But, you know, when your heart does that, you got to take care of business.
And one more shot.
Yeah, I can finish this.
Monacelli strikes working, can re-extend to 25, 7th frame.
Oh, a little friendship tap from the backside.
That's a 6-frame strike and a 5-bagger as Monacelli re-extends his lead to 25. Another look. A little higher than he liked, but the 4 comes forward.
I think that was the 2-pin that hit the sideboard and just give it a little tap from the backside. For either player, it'd be a way to cap off the season, an extra $10,000, a beautiful trophy.
Little tight.
Oh.
4-pin.
It almost looked like he rushed that one a little bit, got a little amped up. Crossing 22, 23, out to 8 down lane. That left lane, I really believe it changes as we're looking at it. And if you don't stay one step ahead of it, it could come up and bite you. But that kind of opens the door for Sammy.
Sure does. He can step up now in the 7th and 8th and get this thing into single pins. Sam trails by 24. 2 hits reduces the lead to less than a mark. Title match at the PBA 50 National Championship to benefit Riley Hospital for Children. And we'll talk to our winner and do that following the final ball tonight. Oh, Oh, good pitch.
Great pitch. Sammy's, he's in the moment. That's pretty awesome. He's really playing it tight on the right lane. He's put himself in a chance to actually put a lot of pressure back onto Amleto, and we know it's a ball game. Almost looked like he hit up on that ball a little bit off of his hand. The ball came off his hand, and you really don't want to see that, but it held the line, and good for him. He got the break. Now he needs to build on it.
Sam's been featuring the game breaker phenom that he features with the pin up.
As you can see right there, right above the bridge. That normally gets the ball to go a little bit longer down lane, gives it a little bit more pop on the back end.
You know your way around a bowling ball.
I've been around a few.
The cut at the single pins. Did it
Oh,
carry?
did he get that little pop on the back?
Just wanted a little more push. Didn't happen. 4-pin.
Wasn't really happy with that off of his hand. See, that wasn't quite as solid. See the hop at the foul line. Fall to the right, ball goes to the left, and he knows it. Came in high. Had a chance to really close down the lead. Tough break for Sammy.
Needs this, and he will trail by 15.
You hear these guys throw these spare balls, and they're thumping all the way down the lane. They just kill them so they go straight, point A to point B. That's all you got to do. You really don't need to try to throw it 300 miles an hour. Just knock the darn pin down. Don't try to break it in half.
Monacelli up by 15 pins, 8th frame. Spare working. 6 clips the 10.
I can't stress enough how important it is to post a shot. And he posted that. And when you post it, you give the ball direction. And when you give the ball direction, it reads the lane and it makes a move. And if you don't let the ball read the lane, all you're doing is guessing on your next move that you have to make.
Key shot of the match here. Monacelli can extend his lead late.
He strikes here, he puts a whole bunch of pressure on Sammy. He might go out and jog another 3 miles right after this.
Maybe not tonight, but certainly tomorrow morning.
Who that? Deeper at the... Oh!
3, 6, 7, 10 split.
I think he was deeper at the arrows, but it never got to his break point. It never got right down lane. That ball just read way too soon in the mid lane, and it started making this move at 35 feet. It never did get to 45 feet. A makeable spare. If he doesn't make it, Sammy's got an opportunity. If nothing else, get count.
Open frame for Monacelli.
And he was going for it. Just never got the ball to read up to pick up the 3.
And the lead of Monacelli is down to 1.
Oh. His best finish is going to be 235.
As
Wow,
a
84.
pro bowler, all you want is a chance. And Maccarone has just been given that chance.
He's got a chance. He strikes out. He shuts him out. It's all over.
Maccarone will finish.
This is the idea. I want to finish first, put all the pressure on him. But if he finishes first, he's got a title.
And he crumbles the 4, but the 10 doesn't go. Tough break.
He snapped that out a little bit too soon. He thought it was going to look like it was going to be a split. He gets through it. Ball hits a little high. Looks like it's going to be the 4-10 split, and the 4 does fall. The 10 doesn't. 0-3, possible 233, possible 235. We have a match. It's come down to 1 frame, barring that he picks up the spare.
And he just flagged the 10.
Oh, my God.
Oh, brother.
That is what we call just a mental mistake. He needed to back off, just take some time. He got to the line, he jumped, he hopped. Let's see the footwork coming up. He wasn't solid. That means your feet are too fast. For people watching, if you're hopping at the line, that is too fast. Your upper body got ahead of your knees and you came right up at the shot. Not good. Beautiful shot there. But the adrenaline rush is down now, so he can make the shots. He's just got to hope for a miracle at this point. Going to possibly strike out for 222.
Would force a mark.
A mark and 7 is a tie. Mark and 8's a win for Amleto.
That was inside all the way. Wow.
Best he's going to do is 212. That all Amleto has to do is get more than 7 on his first shot.
.212 finish.
Poor Sammy. He is going to relive missing that 10 pin in the 9th for several weeks. Unfortunately, nothing you can do about it now is just sit and hope.
8 and 2 shots for Monacelli, and he'll win his 2nd title and 7th overall. It's a winner. Amleto Monacelli claims his 2nd PBA50 title of the year. It's a major, the PBA National Championship to benefit Riley Hospital for Children. The title belongs to Amleto Monacelli, his 7th on the PBA50 tour.
He took a little extra time before he threw that. I mean, he was standing there. I go, boy, study long, study wrong. Don't take too long.
And a whole different ball of wax if that has to be a strike for the win.
Oh, by far. Well, you know, as much as they're hooking on the back, that could have been 4 through the middle, and there still would have been hope sitting on the bench.
Tom Carter, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed this season.
We love it when you sit in on the booth, and we love it that you represent Brunswick in all the capacities you do. And the final motorhome update is a good one.
Yes, it's running. It cost me $8,000 to get here, but we're here, and I look forward to next year and seeing you guys. So you guys have a good season during the summer, and I'll see you when we start in April.
Sounds good. 2017 PBA 50 Tour, and I'll be down laneside shortly to talk to our champion. Stay with us live on Extra Frame. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live on Extra Frame, the online bowling channel, and thank you so much. Before we award Amleto Monacelli with his 7th career major win here today and 7th career PBA 50 title, we just wanted to bring out Roger Brown one more time and John Weber because there was a very special donation made on behalf of the players. And before we do the trophy, I would just love for everyone at home live on Extra Frame to be made aware of the presentation that was made right before we started our Stepladder final. So Roger, come out here, and John Weber, come out here. Just wanted to let everybody know at home about the presentation that you guys made prior to the Stepladder.
Well, we made the presentation basically to Roger so he can hand it over to Riley Hospital for Children, and it was just a little over $2,600 that the players donated to Riley Hospital to hopefully help the children get better. And one of our players, Ron Mohr, who wanted to remain anonymous, but you know, he matched what the players put up, and we're so proud of Ron and the players for everything that they did for Riley Hospital. So that was the donation, and thanks Mike J for bringing it up.
Oh. Thank you. Gentlemen, stay with me as we will have now our check and trophy presentation. It's his 2nd win this year and his 7th overall, and it's a major title from Barquisimeto, Venezuela. Felicitones. Hey, Amleto Monacelli, our champion. And let's make the presentation first. Here's Roger Brown with our trophy.
Amleto, congratulations. It's a great tournament.
And John Weber, I believe you have the winner's share of our prize fund.
Amleto, on behalf of Roger Brown, here's a check for $10,000, another major for you. I don't think $10,000 will fit in that wagon, but you can give it a try. Here you go, Amleto. Congratulations.
Amleto, congratulations. It was, I would call it a tense title match. And it went a couple of different ways, but in the end, you found the right move. What was the right move?
Well, the right move tonight was do not get desperate in the situation when I was down, and really analyze what was going on with the lanes, make the right changes, changing the ball, and just really try to be as loose as I can, just make good shots, and patience got me here.
Patience is such a tough lesson to learn, and yet you were able to find the right moment and the right ball and the right look. What was the right combination?
Well, the right combination was to really focusing on what the other ball was not doing, which it did the whole week, and don't try to make it work because it's not working, and just make a decision in my mind, you know, which was the cyber that I decided to use at the end, you know, give me a little better mid-length, and here I am.
Congratulations.
Yes.
It's your 7th career senior title and your 2nd this year, and congratulations on your win. And where did Roger go? Roger, come on back out here. We wanted to thank Roger one more time here at Signature Lanes as we close out the 2016 PBA 50 Tour. Such a successful time in our first visit here. You've got a great champion and a great event. And how about an opportunity to thank everyone that was involved with making this first stop such a memorable one?
Thanks very much. A Week for Riley Kids turned out to be a great event. We really appreciate all of the attention, all of the cooperation, and the great team that put this thing together. We hope to do it again for years to come. Thank you very much.
Roger Brown, thank you so much.
I like to thank Roger. I like to thank all the sponsors, everyone, all the fans, and the people who make this possible. Thank you so much, and we look forward to come back next year. Thank you.
This is it. The 2016 PBA 50 Tour has reached its conclusion with a great champion and a great staff. My thanks to John Weber and to Linda Carter for their support all year. Thank you for watching.